Good morning. My name is Rachel Meuleman, and I am streaming live from Dubai, the fastest growing city in the world. I've been here for 17 years. And if you're not coming to some of these trade shows that are happening, then where are you? We need you here. You've heard the saying, Yalla, come to Dubai. Well, it's true, and everyone's flocking here. Every type of business, and the trade show scene is packed. Now, I'm going to get right into a couple ways that you could really maximize your time here in the region at these trade shows so you understand how to really build that strategy of what you need to do to make sure that you don't waste any little second by coming and being the most effective for your business at these trade shows. Today, we're talking about seamless. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And we are going to get right into how fabulous of a trade show this is. Now, I've been here for quite a long time, 17 years just last month, and I've gone to this show a handful of times, not once, not twice. I'm talking about probably over a dozen times. It is a place to go if you're in fintech, and there's no doubt it's a busy show floor. So I encourage you, get here if you haven't made your plans. The tickets are free, and you're going to get a whole bunch of good stuff there. So let's just first talk about who am I, why you want to listen to me. So I'm Rachel Meuleman, and just recently won another fabulous award about what I do here, which is really consulting businesses to grow. I drive a lead generation business, and it's all about human connections because I am passionate about elevating sales through these human connections. 30 years of sales experience. I got to change that, but that's 17 years in the Gulf region. Yep, I manage the entire emerging markets. I've worked in every GCC country. I've traveled around, and basically, I'm all about this region. The way it works is a relationships. So if you're running Google Ads and you're expecting to convert deals in the B2B play, it's not going to work. It's not going to work effectively. So you'll be just wasting your money. So I'm here to really show you how to scale without spending so much and really look at the things that work. I worked in marketing in the region for over a decade. I've worked in sales, and marketing and sales either dance together or they fight and really battle it out. And no matter what, I've spent money across the board in marketing and PR and lead generation from online to outdoor, and I've seen it all. And I'll tell you what, the highest and the best impact for any sales organization in B2B is the trade show floor. Now, I'm going to talk about why and how, but in the meantime, I built a business, sold a business, and I'm just doing it all over again as the founder of the BizzAngels. I'll take you through that later. But I have serviced all these different types of industries, focusing on the B2B kind of ecosystem when it comes to resellers and real estate, when it comes to IT and how their resellers actually work together in selling from a distribution standpoint to fintech to basically getting it out in the market to customer acquisition to depending on what industry they're trying to focus on, FMCG, from franchising globally on down, media, and a whole bunch of other companies that just need me to come in and do a little scraping to see what's not working, where their conversion is really losing effectiveness when it comes to sales and revenue. So join the league. I hope you do. And I hope you find some of this information valuable because either you're going to know it or you're not. And I'm telling you, if you're not implementing it, you're going to learn it today, how important it is. So let me take you through what we're going to talk about. It's all about the event app. There's technology there for a reason. There is a great opportunity to use it. Let's go right into it. The pre-event preparation. There needs to be an engine. Are you ready to jump in that car, turn on the key, and start that engine today? Or are you going to wait until you get to the trade show? Up to you, but I like to prepare, so I'm trying to help you with the guidelines of what works for me. Event strategies at the event, what's going to happen? This is really, really important, right? And then follow up. Follow up is biggest, probably the biggest important part of this entire game, especially if you're coming to travel out of town and get here. So let me ask you a question. How many of you have actually gone to trade shows and just gotten the wrong leads and spent tons of time just getting the wrong leads? Are you tired? Are you done with getting the wrong leads? Because if you are, then I'm going to show you, listen, what's going to happen that's going to change that. And there's no doubt trade shows are a grind, right? But here's some big, pain points that people are experiencing in that space. So take a look at this and tell me which ones are you victim of. Race, basically, what have you run into? Where did you go wrong? And I really am here to fix it. Why? Because I started my career doing commercial color printing and I didn't have a marketing team. So I didn't have a choice. I needed to make revenue. I needed to make my salary. I needed to make some commission. Where am I going to get some customers? I could, yeah, pick up the phone and call each individual one, or I can go to trade shows where my customers I knew were going to be there and I could find them. And there were going to be a bunch of them right there and make that impact immediately from a human perception kind of aspect. It takes 7 seconds for people to judge you. So why not take that 7 seconds and multiply it by a couple days and get as many as possible to start that journey, right? It's going to be a lot more time effective than picking up the phone or sending an email that doesn't get answered and so forth. So whether you're a sponsor, whether you're an exhibitor, or whether you just sent your team that's untrained to stand there. There's some of the pains I've seen at the trade shows. So there's so many different problems, from the booth design to the time management to even measuring success, right? Like, do you have some KPIs? Are you looking to measure anything? What about your lead qualification? Are you just talking to everyone, or you got a fishbowl just sitting there for cards? Like, cards? Really? Insufficient follow-up, technology, budget constraints, cultural differences. In Dubai, we got every country in the world present walking the show floor. So are you aware? Are you able to connect authentically? Are you able to see people and understand who they are and have the cultural sensitivities when you get here? I don't know, but I've seen things go wrong. So let's talk about the app first, because if you're coming to this show, you get access to an app. So get that app. Make sure you're using it. This is so important. And now what's going to be on this app? Seamless app says the date. It's going to tell you the exhibitors. It's going to tell you the agenda, which is probably the most important part, because those C-level guys that you want to meet are going to be on the panels. That's how they get the traction, the engagement from the attendees. They bring in the best and the biggest guys to talk about what's happening in their industry. Those guys are on the panel. So don't you want to know when they're going to be on, so that you can go listen, tag them, take a picture, and basically even walk up to them and say, hey, how's it going? I loved what you said, and my name is, and let's connect, right? You can do it on LinkedIn, and you can really take that moment to just make that 7-second impression. Talks about your badge, which is going to be helpful. So let's just take you through it really quick, because clearly you don't want to get there and all of a sudden have to look for your badge and all of a sudden have to print it out, look for an email. Make it simple. Your badge is here. All you have to do is open it, scan it, walk right through the room. Like I mentioned, you got 3 days to make it happen. All the events are listed. And not only are they listed, but you're going to see, if you click into them, you can actually see who's going to be on the stage, which is the most important. So as I walk you through this, I might sing along too, but there's no doubt that you can target every different types of exhibitor depending on who you're looking to meet. A lot of different people looking to meet a lot of different people, right? So everyone, depending on what you are trying to find, this is a great way to start your strategy, because you don't want to just show up and say, I'm going to walk the floor and see who I see. Really kind of not the best way, right? I'm thinking, if you go to war, are you going to walk in and just be like, let's see how the weather is? No, you're going to make sure you know exactly where to go and who you're going to meet. And this is a great way to start saving these exhibitors if you're going to go find them, saving the agendas if you're going to go listen to them, and really kind of have a tracking. Now, what I love there is the best. The people, their names, they're all there. The companies, they're all there. What's not there is their phone number and email. Well, you got to go get them. So how are you going to get them? I can help you. And so that's exactly what I'm going to help you do. But today I want to go through just some of the simple stuff. This app has everybody's name. So if you haven't even started communicating with people, this is like a great opportunity, because you can start building your funnel, your target list based on this database, right? So keep in mind that badge, you're going to use it, and it's really simple to do that check-in right there. Now, you might want to book a meeting. You could try it. I'm personally not a fan. I don't think this is really effective. However, these apps are there to keep you engaged, but it turns into a whole sales pitch. Everyone that, if I was working the show floor, I'd have tons of people trying to meet me to sell their stuff without knowing whether or not I even need their stuff, and I don't think that's the right strategy. So you can try it. One value about doing it this way and adding somebody and trying to request a meeting could be that they see you. So that's a great way because on average, you need 14 touch points of your name, your face, your brand to be seen by the other person for it to really resonate, because there's so much noise in this market right now. But if you see someone you want to meet, this is a great way if they look at the app. That's the tricky thing. There's no guarantee that they're going to or they won't look at the app. And so it's a risky play. I say try it anyway. What do you got to lose other than a touch point, right? If they do actually meet with you, fantastic. You've hit the jackpot because it doesn't happen so often. So incredible, but I can't guarantee these results. They really vary. And at the end of the day, you got to make sure your profile looks good, right? Because your profile is what they're going to judge you on. So we're talking about your profile on the app, the profile on LinkedIn, because if they go to look for you and you are on LinkedIn, they Google your name and LinkedIn pops up first, that better look like you are an expert in what you do and you're trustworthy for them even to actually want to meet you. Keep that in mind. So it's not a bad idea. Try to pre-schedule this, but in the meantime, I would definitely utilize their contact name information and LinkedIn to empower this touch point repetition that you're just about to begin, right? So here's a question. Do you pre-schedule meetings or do you wait to see who shows up? What kind of sales, business development owner, business owner, event attendee are you? If you're just looking for information, then great, you could be casual. But if you are here to drive revenue and sales, commissions and money, then you should be doing this. You should be setting up meetings. You should be looking strategically at their names. You should be connecting on LinkedIn. You should be presenting yourself with the best expertise in the industry so that people want to meet you. You got to show your value. And if it's not clear, you're going to have problems. So let's talk about the pre-event preparation. You want to find out, you want to pre-schedule, you want to use the app, use LinkedIn, maybe even use a scraping tool so you can get their email, send them an email, maybe get the scraping tool to pull their phone number, send out a WhatsApp message. These are all multiple touch points. The more you got, the better you're going to do. And it's all about this repetition, right? Because you got to stand out without the noise. Now, so you have to research, and that's why that app is so important. And then optimize the multiple different ways to do it. You may need a third-party platform, that you can potentially use, like a Lucia or a Apollo, where you can scrape their emails and phone numbers and try to get their data. Not a bad way to start. The other thing is your LinkedIn. As I mentioned, it's going to be really important because this is where you want to connect. Because if you are credible and trustworthy and using this platform for education of how trustworthy and credible you are, you need to connect with them as soon as possible. Because once they see that, they connect with you, you will be able to share all that value with them and they potentially could be seeing it, right? This is where you can optimize the use of that LinkedIn. However, I've had many conversations with clients that I've tried to meet. I've connected with on LinkedIn. They connect with me. Next thing I know, I got their phone number. I'm sending them a WhatsApp. And immediately I say, we're connected on LinkedIn. And guess what? It's an easier conversation. It's so much easier because it's a warmer relationship. It's kind of getting down that marketing funnel. So if you're going in the top, you're ice cold, baby. But as you go down, it really is going to change. So the last one is that CRM, really the strategy that you're using for your CRM. You may or may not have a CRM. Well, that becomes a fun one because then that means you got to do all this manual. And that's basically the communication. But in the ideal world, you would have a CRM. You could have your messages all plugged in. You could just send them out across these different channels and basically try to nurture this contact in many different ways and to get their attention, right? So email, WhatsApp, and even using it to call them because, right now, as much as people don't like to do the telemarketing, people are picking up the phone in the region. 20 to 60% response times and response is kind of what we're getting on the outbound calling, which means, from that standpoint, it could really vary, but people are picking up the phone. And if you have the opportunity to talk to them, you better have a strong way of communicating if you're scripting. If you've got a script, or at least you're making a cold call so that you can actually really make an impact, because you're going to either lose it on that opportunity or you're going to actually use it, and you're going to be able to take them through the sales cycle, which would be the next step, which would be a face-to-face meeting, demo, whatever you may do. Or maybe you have your inside sales team that could qualify that. That's great. But someone still needs to send an email, send a WhatsApp, and send it numerous times, connect on LinkedIn and do all this. That's the way I did it. And I was able to drive millions of dollars worth of pipeline from this way, and this was now with technology getting so savvy, you can automate it. There's a number of different ways and platforms out there to do so. So are you going to engage like a pro at this event? Have you practiced what you're going to say? I'm going to trade shows for years, and now I'm going and just asking people, you got 30 seconds to impress me, 7 seconds to make a first impression, and I am giving you time to give your elevator pitch. So what's your elevator pitch? This is basically information about you, your business, and your highlights of why you are amazing to work with and what results I would get to basically be with you and work with you, so that they can clearly see in a short amount of time whether or not it applies to them, right? If they're interested at all. And no doubt, like, it's going to be powerful, but you got to practice it. I see a lot of people going into what's your elevator pitch. They go into their business and basically start telling people what the solution is, but they don't say anything about their customers that they service. They don't say anything about the results that you get from the implementation or working with them, and they're missing out that, and even like the years of experience that they have to make them credible, right? So these 3 areas are really, really poignant. So I highly recommend throw that in, practice it, because you have such a short amount of time to make an impression. So do it in the best way possible. Another thing I see is people talking to everybody. They just go into the show and talking to everybody without even qualifying them, which I find as a complete waste of time. Why are you not asking questions to find out if they care about what you're talking about or what you're selling? If you're there to drive revenue, why wouldn't you ask a couple of questions? So I encourage you, figure out 3 qualifying questions that you can ask to every person you engage with to understand, are they the decision maker? Is this something that they're aware of, a pain that they're solving or suffering from? And how can let's lock it into a next meeting. Like, just focus on 3 questions so that you can really actively engage with each participant and really find out whether you should be spending any time at all with them. I know it's a little cutthroat, but I'm a New Yorker and I don't like wasting time talking to the wrong people, especially if my commissions are based on it. So I'm encouraging you, practice. Make it efficient, practice these tips, and qualify. What are your questions that you're going to ask everyone that you engage? Because this is going to be crucial to the leads that get into your pipeline. Obviously, targets. What are your targets? Who are your clients? Who do you want to meet? What's your strategy? I mean, you can throw it into ChatGPT and be like, what should my strategy be? It could be a collaboration that could be at the show. It could be just, content creation so that you can elevate your own presence in the industry and talk about some of the knowledge that you build. What is your objective and who do you want to meet? And that app is going to help you so much. So, how many people do you target to meet and talk to each day? There's a big one. And I say that because there's so many people that don't even think about this. They don't even think about it. They're completely lost. Oh, I don't know. I'll just spend my company's money, throw it down the trash bin. And I see it all the time. And it actually pains me. I worked in marketing and spent a ton of money having the best place for my brand to go and meet the right people. And then I saw how salespeople would go and you lose the opportunity. And I think that's the biggest frustration with the marketing and sales teams, this dance that a lot of business have them completely siloed. One's responsible to invite them, the right people to the party, or find the right party to find the customers, and the salespeople are there to dance and enjoy the dance and make sure that they take them home later that night, you know? But here's the thing. Sometimes I see salespeople just standing there at a stand and just waiting for the lead to fall in their lap, the customer to come. And there's no doubt on a busy trade show floor, it is awesome. So many people walking by, but you got to think quick and you got to figure out which one's the right one to talk to. So I don't waste time with the wrong people. You know how frustrating it is for marketing to spend all this money, to have this beautiful stand, to have a great setup, and then all of a sudden you see a sales guy talking to the wrong person for a long time. I want to pull my hair out. You know, luckily at that position, I wasn't the business owner, but if I was a business owner, and I hope you're listening, business owner, salespeople are wasting your money all the time. This is infuriating to me, and that's why I do what I do. And that's why I created the BizzAngels, because if you're going to waste your business money, you know, and your time and not be effective or strategic, then why don't you just hire somebody to go find the right leads? Hire someone to just be the strategy, the sales strategy for the business development on the ground. That's what the girls do. It's the outsourced business development. We build exactly what the hunt document is. This is basically created by me, who your target is, and what they're going to say and how they're going to qualify. And they go out into the show floor talking to everybody, and that's their objective. They have to talk to everybody, not a promo model standing there smiling that has no information, no idea what to do, and just is throwing a business card in a fishbowl or scanning the wrong person into your database. It drives me nuts. Can you tell? Anyway, the BizzAngels, yeah, we created this and they are killing it. Just the other day, they went to an event. They had a great IT event where all the competition was sponsoring right next to one another. This is really fun. What happened? All the sales guys were standing there waiting for the client to come and fall into their lap. They didn't want to miss anyone. But guess what? The clients were not there. They didn't walk by. They were listening to the people on the stage. They were talking and having a coffee and talking to the people they already know. They were not walking over to meet another sales guy. So the BizzAngels, sophistication meets powerful connections. These women are trained and certified by me. Yeah, they're basically doing exactly what I've been doing for over 30 years. Over 30 years, 3 decades, I've been doing it, and I'm doing it now, and I'm scaling it by showing women how to do it effectively, and they are killing it. This client that hired us, that had 2 BizzAngels, they brought in 23 marketing qualified lead. That's the right people at the right company to do business and to meet their salespeople on site. Do you know what their competition right next door did? 4. That's it. Only 4. And that is a huge difference between monetizing and strategizing and not. So we represent brands, we do it personalized, and we do a full-on lead generation after the event if need so. And that is really interesting, whether it be before the event, to build up to the event, or even after, to get your touch points going, right? So number 3, I want you to make sure that you're confident and strategic. You know, this is the most important when engaging with people. Confidence. And if your salespeople don't have confidence, they'll never sell. There's a reality. They won't, you know, and strategy is so important because it saves time, and time is money. And I love this saying, fail to plan, plan to fail, guaranteed. And so I can't tell you how many people I've seen fail in this space. That's why I do what I do. Read the body language. If you don't know, call me up. I'll help you out. I'll train your team, but plan your day. Understand, do people want to work with you? Look at some things like their feet to tell whether or not they're interested, right? Be efficient and set some targets so you know exactly what you're trying to achieve. And you could review it every day and see how you're doing based on your targets and what you can do. I know for me, the BizzAngels I set with targets, they have to get 5 qualified meetings an hour. That's how they work. At least 5, they have to have a conversation between 2 minutes and 10 minutes, depending on if they're talking to the right person. Obviously, right person is going to be a lot longer. 2 minutes is basically for the qualification process. So we know exactly how many we're going to meet. On average, they're looking at a full day event with 40 marketing qualified leads, information, their name, their phone number, and their email, so that there's a follow-up and ideally even a booked meeting in the calendar. So I am giving them these targets. It's clear. And the question is, do you have targets? And how confident do you feel about engaging with random strangers at these events? Can you walk up to decision makers, or does it take a little bit to get there? Would you prefer someone does it for you? Something to think about. So here's another case study. The BizzAngels are killing it. We were hired to go out to trade shows in Saudi. KSA is huge. It's growing by crazy numbers, and people have offices in Dubai and other regions, but can't get over there as easily sometimes. You know, even though it's only 45 minutes in the plane ride to Riyadh, where they have a ton of exhibitions, the BizzAngels get hired just to go over there for the show, do the needful, meet the people, and in most cases, the worst place to sell is a trade show. To go over and try to sell your product to somebody. So the opportunity is to meet them, to find out and qualify them, as many people as possible. That's the opportunity, right? The decision to hire the BizzAngels was excellent. The Angels made a great impression. They're pleasing, engaging, and communication with ease. It was crazy because we came back, or they came back, with 172 leads after 2 days. 172 targeted leads, and they secured interest for meetings after the event with 41. That's an amazing conversion. So I ask you, are you getting that kind of conversion when you go to the trade show? I don't know. I don't see it. I really don't. You got to be really strategic. And maybe there is a strategy, 1, 2, or 3 that people are doing it, but it's a handful of people. So, you know, the question is, can I help you? That's what I want to know. But before I do, I'm going to tell you the follow-up is the most important, the most important. So 80% of trade show leads are never followed up. Never followed up. What? You spent tons of money. The average lead costs $811 from a trade show. This was the stats from last year. $811. That's taking into consideration the exhibition stand, the marketing, the staff, the travel, the hotel, the food, like how many people came. It's just going to go up from there. It's just going to go up. I spoke to someone the other day. They said they came to a trade show. They got 2 leads. I said, how much did it cost you? They're like, oh, like $50,000. I said, oh my God, you paid $25,000 per lead for that event? That's insane. That's insane. I think people are going crazy if you're even considering losing or burning that time of money. So what I highly recommend, even after the show, there's a follow-up strategy. It's basically, you got to connect with them. Don't let it go cold, because once it goes cold, it's going to be really hard to raise from the dead. And that's what they do. They go cold and they die. Don't let them die. So try to automate it. There's so many ways to track it and document it and move it forward. There's no doubt if you got lots of leads, like, you need some automation. Doing it manually takes time, and you got to keep the momentum going. There has to be follow-up. It all has to be reminding of the amazing value that you drive, right? The most important lead is the one that you continue to nurture after the event. So don't stop the conversation. Don't stop it. So let's see. Now I question you, what's your follow-up process? Is it immediately after the show? Is it 2 to 3 days? Is it, I have no clue, I never thought about it? Think about it, because it's costing your business a lot of money. Just recently, I trained about 13 businesses to come over for one of Arab Health show. The New Zealand Trade Commissions actually had all their businesses coming in Arab or the health space over, and we curated a full-on training event for each one of them to maximize. We talked about their elevator pitch, you know, we talked about how they're qualifying, and the goal was to get sales meetings, meet the most people that were the right ones, and also get their contact details and lock it into a sales meeting after the event. That's exactly what we achieved. Increase qualified leads, higher meeting conversions, and deals in their pipeline. There's no doubt we can be strategic, and I can help you be strategic together. So imagine your potential. Imagine. Turn every interaction with an opportunity. There's too many opportunities, but you want the right ones. Imagine winning the science of persuasion, understanding from body language. Is this going in the right way? Are we going to close this? Can we move it through the sales cycle? Imagine winning back your time, because time is money. And if you're spending all this money, you're losing a lot of time. Stop it. I want you to stop losing the money. Yes, it pains me. It really pains me. And that's one of the driving force of what I do, why I do it. Imagine becoming unforgettable, because there's no doubt you got to stand out, but then becoming unforgettable for your value in the market. And then imagine closing with confidence. So you know exactly how you can help people without any questions. So power up your presence at Seamless 2025. Let's do it together. I want to help you unlock real results with trade show training that works. We have done it. We continue to do it. This is my playground, and I would love to play with you. So think about what you can actually gain. You get a pre-show strategy, everything you need to know and plan for, all the communication, all the outreach plan, on-site lead generation, conversion skills. So when you're there, you'll practice this live. The post-event, afterwards, what needs to happen, the strategy, what you need to say, how you need to do it, the timeline. So it's very clear. You're going to get about 3 hours of training for your team. I break it up into sessions depending on your availability, but 3 hours of content, strategy, and planning. And you're going to need to do it if you're a company coming to a trade show, a sales or business development team, or any team at all. If you're coming to a show and you need to get results where you need to meet people and potentially close meetings and get to build a relationship with them, then I'd love to power up your presence at Seamless. So I made a special rate for the web. Everyone that listened in, please get in touch, refer and reference that you were here, you listened. And if you need a clear strategy to engage, follow up, and convert, well, guess what? You're going to get it for a special offer. And that special offer is exclusive for 5 staff members, right? Because usually people will send about 5 people. I'm giving it normally for 14,000 dirhams, and this training is exclusive for your business today for Seamless. And if you're calling about Seamless, I'm going to do it for a massive discount, 30%, because I want to show you exactly the results you can get. 5 members, 9,800 dirhams per person, and that's going to be under 2,000 dirhams per person to engage in this strategic training. I guarantee we will have targeted leads and sales meetings after this training. It includes also live WhatsApp, so if they're on the ground, we'll actually communicate and see how I can help them on the ground. Speaking of on the ground, if your team's just not strong enough, why not? Why not hire BizzAngel? I'll give you a discount for that too, because there's no doubt I want to help you make the best of your time at this trade show. And the BizzAngels are killing it. They're dominating this space because they're doing it so effectively. Forget hiring a promo model. Don't even bother unless you just want someone at the stand to kind of filter between, the people walking by and the people on, your team. But if you need someone to maximize this, the way to do it is to hire a BizzAngel. We're charging 3,200 dirhams per day on site to be exclusive to your brand. We provide all the training that you approve before they actually go out on the floor and get these leads, and they introduce it to your team. We also provide qualification and a security of the data, which means we'll give you a whole database of their names, phone numbers, company names, job titles, emails, and I'll throw in their LinkedIn profile so that make it really simple for your team to connect with them, right? But I qualify it to ensure the person's working, he's alive, and he's a right target based on who you request, the right target for you. Isn't that amazing? You're not going to get some random supplier that's a salesperson unless you want to meet them, right? And I'm giving you a limited offer of under 2,000 dirhams per day for BizzAngel to do this exclusively, just so you can see how amazing they do. The post-event nurturing is also something that we do. We could do it before event. We could do it after the event. Once you have the leads, if you even have a database and you haven't even gone to an event, or you're going to go to an event and you need the nurturing of these leads to meet you at the event, we can do that nurturing, email, phone number, and WhatsApp. That's what we're doing to build these relationships at the trade show floor. And we do it with email, WhatsApp, calling. I got my statistics, and I'm happy to share with you more of how that works. So I leave it open for any questions that you have. Please use hashtag #AskRachel to find me, ask me, and engage with me so I can help you make the best trade show yet 2025 is going to be a great year. You want to get into this market, you want to do global business, and I'm here to help. My name is Rachel Meuleman, and it's been delightful to share with you my expertise. It's been working and creating millions of pipeline and opportunity for many, many partners, developers, distributors, and just me in general. I've done it for years. I've made great results, and I really, really, truly believe this works the best way possible for this market. So I do hope I hear from you. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Thanks so much for listening.